We have amazing live breaking news. Everybody, come on in. Come on in. You're not going to believe what just happened. The New York Appeals Court has just thrown out President Trump's sham civil penalty fine of almost $500 million by the notorious NYAG, Letitia Big Shane James. And I'm here to break it down for you incomplete. I, as always, did my due diligence and my research. And by the way, I'm going to tell you how you can get a free copy of these research notes. The link is actually in the pinned comment. And as a matter of fact, if you want to download it right now, by all means, you can do that. You can follow along if you're watching this live. If you're watching this on the replay, we love you. Welcome. You're going to get the full gist of everything. What does this mean? What just happened? How did the judges come to this decision? And what is going to happen next? I'm going to break it all down for you. Also, I just want to say this too. If you're watching on the replay, give me a capital TR in the comments for Team Replay, as well as live viewers, or actually, replay viewers as well. Let me know where you're joining me from. I love hearing from you. What city, what state, what country? It makes me, I just love it because we have such a vast audience. Welcome, everybody. This is incredible news. Now, before I go through my entire notes and break down everything, I just want to kind of give you guys a little bit of a, kind of insight into who this individual is. So, I don't know if you guys realize that Letitia Big Shame James, she brought on this case against Trump during the 2024 election. And every legal expert on the planet, including the actual so-called victims of these crimes of falsifying business documents, which amounts to essentially is the banks, everybody said this was a sham. Every legal expert worth their name and salt, anybody who had any credibility, they all said that this was a complete and utter disgrace. It is a desecration of the justice system in America, and that Attorney General Letitia James is committing the most overt act of political weaponization they've seen in the history of America. And so you even had no victims in this case. The banks all said, we want to do business with President Trump. Not only did he pay back everything, all the loans with interest, but there was no crime. There was literally zero crime. You've got legal experts like Alan Dershowitz and Jonathan Turley who have said that I've never seen anything like this before. There was no victim, there was no crime, and yet this Attorney General, Big Tish, Big Shane James, had the audacity, because it was all about this corruption runs so deep, it was all about preventing him from winning. The fact that he was able to overcome these unbelievable odds, the entire deep state established swamp of Washington and the elitists that were running our country for decades, the fact that we, the American people, didn't fall for it, and he still won, and he's doing record-breaking things, bringing America back to the forefront, it's literally the miracle of all miracles. It's literally the greatest story, I mean, ever. It's amazing when it comes to politics, comebacks, and the U.S. political landscape. She actually had the audacity. She would tweet posts on X taunting President Trump, like the one that you see on the screen right now. She would post the amount that was initially judged by this Judge Gargamel Ergamon. I've got a lot to say about him too. She would post the amount plus interest, I mean, on a weekly basis. It was such a scumbag thing to do. That's why today is so big. That's why today is vindication. That's why today it just sends a message to these DEI hired, these wholly unqualified, meritless, deceptive, duplicitous criminals who have no place in our justice system, like Fannie Cash Money G. Willis, Letitia Big Shane James, Judge Gargamel, Judge Fake Don Juan Mershon, the whole lot of them. Comey, Jack the Ripper Smith, you know them all. You know all the players. Adam Shifty Schiff, Pencil Dick Schiff, they have no business. Ghetto Crockett, the whole lot of them. They got no business being here. She would post this to taunt Trump. And when she was pressed, by the way, when she was pressed on, hey, are you doing this because this is a legitimate case? Are you doing this because you have, she would claim, well, what Trump is doing is he's claiming that I am doing this out of a personal vendetta. Listen to her own words right here. I want to share this really fast, where she was confronted that this was all a political vendetta. And then we're going to get into the research notes in a second. She was confronted that this was a political vendetta. And she said, no, it's not. Well, that doesn't quite ring true if you look at her track record, her history, and what she said in the past. She has literally run on a campaign of going after one man, our president, the man who is our commander-in-chief, the man who is bringing respectability and ethos back to the office, President Trump. Listen to this.
The president of the United States has complained that I'm engaging in some sort of political witch hunt, that I've got some personal vendetta against him, that I campaigned against him. That is not true.
This illegitimate president who sits in the White House. That president, because he's not my president, he's an illegitimate president. His days are numbered. His days are numbered.
We've got to get ready to mobilize, and we've got to get ready to agitate and irritate until victory is won, but more importantly, until Trump is defeated. We will all rise up and resist this man,
And ultimately, we'll bring him down.
this illegitimate president. I'm going to give you the same level of respect that you gave to President Obama, and that is absolutely no respect at all.
Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. Donald Trump has got to go. Hey, hey. Ho, ho. And the days of Donald Trump are numbered. Lock him up. Lock him up. Lock him up. Lock him up. Lock him up.
I don't know what to tell you. If that's not political activism, then I don't know what is. You tell me in the comments. Is that political activism? Is that running on a basis of objectivity and following the facts and following the law? I don't think so. It gets worse, though. Look at Judge Gargamel here. So this guy, Judge Gargamel, Judge Engoron, who made a decision to find Trump guilty of falsifying business documents, again, when every legal expert worth their name in gold having any credibility at all came out defiantly saying this case makes no sense. Well, this absolute gremlin, he would host websites of alumni where he boasted about his rulings against the Trump family. And then he would post semi-nude pictures of himself with the words, quote, bonus torso photo. Remember, this is the guy where O'Keefe went undercover. He would literally harass young females at his local gym, claiming I'm a judge, claiming I went after Trump, and just acting like the utter decrepit creep that he is. But I want to play this for you really quickly. Listen to this.
I get a lot of what I do involves motions, these summary judgment motions I mentioned. And all right, am I following the law or am I making law? Okay, I'm following law. I'm an impartial referee, but it's hard to factor out my own emotions. And I have tools. Somebody can say, well, Your Honor, you have to throw out this case because it's just like another case. Well, is it just like another case? What if the defendant was wearing a red sweater instead of a blue sweater? Well, that's an extreme example. That wouldn't distinguish most cases, but there are other facts that do. Maybe the education of somebody who supposedly entered into a contract would decide whether the contract was binding. I have a tool that I'll call a tool called estoppel. Somebody makes an argument and I say, you can't make that argument. You made a different argument 3 months ago in this case, or even in another case. So I wish you all luck. I'll stand here or around afterwards for questions. And again, thanks to the administration for having me.
I want to share this as well. I mean, I just want to give you guys a little, like, refresher course, if you will, on the scumbaggery of these people, the absolute decrepitness of these people. Look at this guy right here. This guy would post photos of himself and say, bonus torso photo. What in God's name is that all about? Why would you do that? Why in the world would you do that? He prides himself on not being a neutral actor. He talks about making the law as opposed to applying the law, and then boasts about the tools he has to achieve the legal results he wants. He actually, I mean, these people act with impunity. It is just absolute insanity to me that these people are getting away with this. Okay. So let's get to the research notes. Let's break this all down. Okay, we're going to break all this down. And again, if you want a free copy of this, I'm a big proponent of transparency. Those of you who are OG Nez Nation members know this. And if you want a copy of my free research notes, they're in the pinned comment and in the description of this video. So in a stunning twist, the New York Appeals Court has just wiped out Trump's $500 million civil fraud penalty. The fraud finding as it stands, but the judges said the fine was so outrageous, it violated the Constitution itself. I want to really focus here for a second. The judges, the appellate court said that it was so outrageous that it violated the Constitution itself. Now, how many OG Professor Nez viewers do we have here? Please leave a comment down below. How many times did I say the reason why any of this stuff was launched, any of these charges were brought, and I mean any of them, by fake Don Juan Mershon, Alvin Do Nothing Bragg, Letitia Big Shame James, Fannie Cash Money G Willis? What did I say? Somebody leave a comment down below. What did I say was the only reason, given the fact that anybody who was in the legal field was flabbergasted? We had Ashley Merchant on our show, who is the prosecutor in Georgia. We love Ashley Merchant, who broke the story of Fannie Willis engaging in nefarious affairs with her special prosecutor, Nathan American Pie Wade. Y'all remember that? What was the reason? Was it based on legal basis? Was it based on objectivity? Was it based on facts? Was it based on evidence? No. Yes, thank you, Laura. It's so good to see you, Laura. We got the best mods in the business because Trump, because of their all-consuming hatred for one man who represented the vacuum cleaner of the swamp. He was the vacuum cleaner of the swamp, and they were the swamp. And don't get it twisted, y'all. They don't give a rat's ass about you, and they don't give a rat's ass about me. I know these people. I've worked with these people. When I worked in the public sector as a professor, I don't just call myself Professor Nez for kicks and giggles. I looked into the deep, cavernous, dark hole of their souls, and I saw nothing. Zero. Goose egg. Blank. Every action they take is of self-interest, narcissistic, sociopathic, like this Newscomb trash plague who is destroying California every day by breathing. They're so afraid, so deathly afraid of having to get a real job, something you and I have been doing our whole lives, that they'll do anything to get reelected. Anything. even throw our justice system in the sewer, throw all the credibility of Lady Liberty, the blind justice, right, out the window so they can achieve one aim. I mean, this is really, really important. Super, super important. This is a major legal win for Trump, a crushing setback for Letitia James, in a battle that now moves into the New York's highest court, where the fight isn't about Trump, but about how far the state can go before the Constitution slams on the brakes. So let me just kind of, here's the overview of the original case. I want to break this down. It's going to be fast, simple, easy to understand. Sit back, relax, grab your favorite snack, your favorite beverage. Your boy Nez is going to take care of everything. So back in 2024, Judge Arthur Engoron ruled that Trump and his business inflated property values to secure better loans and insurance deals. Trump and his associates were hit with a $354 million penalty. Can you believe this? Their only aim was to bankrupt him, which ballooned to over $500 million with interest. They thought that they could take over. They looked down their nose and says, no, 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 no. You're not going to get the truth about who this guy is. We're going to tell you what we want you to believe about this guy, because this guy stands in the way of us. Additional punishments included barring Trump's sons from leading New York companies, heavy restrictions on Trump's access to loans, as well as a court-appointed monitor to oversee Trump organization finances. The appeals court decision today, August 21st. It's my daughter's birthday, by the way. Everybody, please leave a comment. Wish a happy birthday to my beautiful, smart, intelligent, light of my life, Nora. Nora, if you happen to be watching this, she doesn't watch my content. She's 12. But maybe you're watching this, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 years from now. I love you. Happy birthday. Your father loves you very, very much. This is a beautiful day for America. It's a beautiful day for me as a patriot, as a citizen, as somebody who loves, who eats, sleeps, breathes, and bleeds red, white, and blue. But also, it's a special day for my daughter, Nora. It's Nora, by the way, no H at the end. It's her birthday today. We're going to celebrate tonight. So today, the appeals court decision, penalty overturned. The appeals court ruled the $500 million penalty was excessive and violated the Eighth Amendment. So I'm going to talk about the Eighth Amendment in a second as well. Fraud still stands. Judges upheld the finding that Trump and his associates committed fraud by inflating asset values. Split panel, 2 judges said fraud stands, but penalty too high. 2 judges says the case should be retried, and 1 judge said the case should be dismissed altogether. So you have 3 judges. It was essentially 3 judges who basically all said the same things, that this was absolutely absurd. Now they have to go through the legalese and the sort of highways and byways of legal nomenclature and semantics to kind of address their ruling that is compliant in all sorts of boring bureaucratic things that I don't want to get into. But the bottom line is they all thought this was a sham, just like we knew. Other restrictions, a ban on leadership roles and lending restrictions remain paused, but the independent monitor stays in place over Trump's businesses, which is fine because they're not going to find anything. The guy has revoked his salary, for crying out loud. He's not taking his presidential salary. He's paying with his own tab to fix DC. He's paying with his own tab to build this beautiful ballroom at the White House. He paid with his own tab to erect those 2 glorious flags right there on the White House lawn, which are beautiful, by the way. Why the penalty was tossed. The court said the state's financial punishment was wildly out of proportion to the actual harm caused. You can say that again, Jack. Justice Peter Moulton said the fraud was real, but not cataclysmic enough to justify a $500 million fine. You got to imagine. It makes me so happy. She would sit there in court and smile ear to ear. That absolute monster, Letitia Big Shame James. I hope you are feeling a tsunami of shame shower you every day. And by the way, if you haven't been following our channel, by the way, if you subscribe and follow, it's free. Just do it right now. It takes you only a nanosecond. It's free. And tap that thumbs up, especially if you love America. Ed Martin, the special DC prosecutor for the DOJ, is still pursuing mortgage fraud. I mean, it's unbelievable. The irony, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, this is the stuff of daytime soap opera. All the while she was posting these tweets saying, oh, look at the interest. Look at the amount. We got him. I'm going to come back with a check. Remember she said that? I'm going to come back with a check. She's smiling in court, just gloating in her monstrosity that she is. All the while that was taking place, she was committing mortgage fraud. Can you fathom the divine justice of the Lord Almighty? God, we love you. God bless. This is beautiful, guys. This means there is order in the universe. There is justice. There's divine justice. There's a justice that we can all tangibly absorb and appreciate here. The ruling reinforces the constitutional guardrail that even when wrongdoing is proven, penalties cannot be punitive beyond reason. Our forefathers, ladies and gentlemen, my fellow American citizens and my fellow global citizens, the reason the United States of America is the greatest nation to ever be bestowed upon man. I'm going to get emotional. I love this country so much. We had forefathers who had vision. That's why it makes me so upset. That's why you see me. I know I get your comments. Nez, you're going to have a heart. My mom watches the show. Mom, if you're watching, I get it. She's like, son, you got to calm down. You're not 28 anymore. Quite frankly, probably you're a lot older than that, actually, but you're still a good-looking guy. Thank you, Mr. President. I love you. You know, my mom will say, you got to calm down. But I get so upset because we have a country where so many people have sacrificed for the freedoms, the values, and principles embedded in the fabric of our soil that is the US of A. It makes me so upset, painful, pain in my chest, y'all, when I see these Madam Ghetto Crockett's, Cyclops Booker, and these ridiculous Decepticons, these evil people. They're evil. They're all evil, y'all. It makes me so upset. Does anybody feel me out there? We had our forefathers sacrifice so much for the concept of liberty. Never mind the Civil War. Never mind all the minuscule myriad. I don't mean minuscule as in small, but all the overlooked things, overlooked sacrifices, small, medium, big, and large, to get where we are today. And we came this close to seeing it all thrown to ruin when cackling Kamala and the traitor-in-chief Obama and the whole lot of them, vegetable-in-chief Biden, throwing out the red carpet to terrorists and criminals and gangsters, destroying our credibility, giving all our money away, injecting systemic DEI racist principles and woke ideologies into every vertical in our country. I mean, they literally injected the plague into America. That's what Biden, Kamala, Obama, Pelosi, Schumer, that's exactly what they did. Evil. And now they're fighting law enforcement officials. Now they're actually upping the assaults on these poor ICE agents who are just doing their job, carrying out orders, trying to get criminals off the street, the same criminals that they let in their voter base. I'm going to stop. I know what you're saying, guys. Nez, calm down. It just drives me bonkers. It should drive you bonkers, which is why you need to make these videos go viral. We need to educate. We still have 50% of the population of the greatest country on earth who have pollution in their heads, literal pollution in their heads. Oh, it drives me crazy. Okay, what does this mean for Trump? I know what you're saying. We're going to move on. This is a financial win. Trump avoids a crushing $500 million hit, and you, Letitia Big Shame James, are fuming right now. She's big mad right now, and I love it. The legal cloud remains. He is still officially branded as a fraudster by New York courts, which is ridiculous, but nobody takes that seriously. He still has business oversight. His company continues to operate under a court monitor. Not over yet. Trump may face more. This is the important stuff I want to cover. And being somebody who's objective, it's important that I cover all the facts and nothing but the facts. Trump may face more litigation or stricter penalties if the state appeals successfully. So, what does this mean for Letitia Big Shame James, the notorious AG? It's a major setback for her, thank God. The penalty, the headline of her case, has been wiped out. And by the way, all the legal experts that I have done my due diligence to research, confer with, have all agreed that this is one huge step closer to full exoneration. This entire case is going to get thrown out. You've got Andy McCarthy, the former assistant U.S. attorney, who's literally live on Fox right now saying the same exact thing. The fraud ruling still helps. She can still point to a legal victory on liability, although that's not going to stand. The next step will likely be, and she already actually responded to this, so she's definitely going to go to New York's highest court, the Court of Appeals, but the Court of Appeals will come to the same conclusion. You, Letitia Big Shame James, are absolutely nuts. This isn't holding anymore. It's all over. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Hasta la pasta. The political impact of this, the optics shift. Her case looks less like a crushing blow to Trump and more like constitutional overreach. That's really important to understand. And by the way, all the super chats and new members, I'm going to give you shout outs in a second. Trump also responded to this, and in a very, very long Truth Social post that I'm going to cover for you. So I'm going to totally go over everything for you in just a second. Let me get through this outline of mine. Again, if you want this free outline, free research notes, everything that we've been talking about and covering, the link is in the pinned comment and in the description. Here's the bigger picture, the constitutional question. The Eighth Amendment protects Americans from excessive fines. That's what the Eighth Amendment is about. This ruling highlights a key principle. The government can punish fraud, but punishment must be proportionate, not a political or financial death sentence, which is exactly what the Hippocrats. Why do I call them the Hippocrats? Because here's my catchphrase again. When a tree breathes, carbon dioxide is released. When a Democrat breathes, swamp-filled pollutant lies fill the environment. Everything they breathe turns into a lie. They are the Hippocrats. You can't call this party the Democrats. These are the Hippocrats. Don't get it twisted. Key principle reinforced is even when fraud is proven, the government can't levy a penalty so large it looks like political punishment rather than a proportionate remedy. That's the genius, the forethought, the vision, the goodwill. It's really the kind of template of fairness that our forefathers instilled and imbued in the founding documents and our Constitution. This ruling may set a national precedent. States and regulators must balance punishment with constitutional limits when pursuing massive penalties against corporations or political figures. So what's next? Trump celebrates a legal and financial victory, and I'm going to show you his response in just a second, but he still fights the fraud label, which nobody believes, except for people who watch MSNBC and CNN. Oh, it's now called MS Now because NBC thinks so little of that. NBC doesn't want them sharing their name anymore. Letitia James faces pressure to salvage the case at the state's highest court. Well, she will lose big time. And the public gets a reminder that the Constitution limits government power even against controversial figures. And this is, I want to say this, the bottom line here is Trump dodged a $500 million bullet. It's not the end, but it's pretty close. But here's what I want to say. Hey, notorious AG Letitia Big Shame James, I fixed your post for you. the post of all those numbers that you posted through the years? Guess what? Here is the new number, 000, my dear. What the bottom line is that the whole world, including everybody in my great nation, understands that you, Letitia Big Shame James, are the real fraud. And when Ed Martin gets done with you, when Pam Bondi gets done with you, when the Department of Justice gets done with you, hopefully, at the very least, and I'll be there, you'll be sitting in a court in handcuffs, pleading your case to a judge who's going to see right through you like the rest of us. And you know what you're going to see when you turn around, Big Tish James? You're going to see this face doing this. Maybe that was a little creepy. I can't do it on the spot, but I'm going to be smiling ear to ear, my dear. Woo! It's going to be awesome. That's the bottom line. The bottom line is all the sham trials, all the hoaxes, everything is now coming to fruition. Everything is now coming to light. The darkness is vanishing. The darkness is afraid. All you got to do is light that candle, and we, the American people, are seeing the light. It's a beautiful thing. There's a lot to celebrate here. Okay, here's President Trump on this really lengthy response. I want to share this with you. Total victory in the fake New York State Attorney General Letitia James case. So he's claiming total victory. I greatly respect the fact that the court had the courage to throw out this unlawful and disgraceful decision that was hurting business all throughout New York State. You think business is bad now? Wait till Mamdani wins, the communist Bolshevik Leninist who wants to get rid of property. He wants to take control of the means of production. He wants to federalize grocery stores, federalize the transport system. Wait till businesses finally realize New York is dead. Others were afraid to do business there. The amount, including interest and penalties, was over $550 million. It was a political witch hunt in a business sense, the likes of which no one has ever seen before. This was a case of election interference by the city and state trying to show illegally that I did things that were wrong, when in fact, everything I did was absolutely correct and even perfect. Every single dollar was thrown out, even the penalties imposed on us by the corrupt judge, one of the most overturned in history, Arthur Judge Gargamel is my nickname for him, Engoron. I wasn't given a jury, and during the course of the trial, which lasted a long time, was not given one ruling in my favor by this political hack. But worse than him, if that's possible, was Letitia James, a corrupt and incompetent attorney general who only brought this case in order to hurt me politically. She is a Trump deranged lunatic. I mean, this is like, this is gospel, man. Everything he's saying is 1,000,000,000% correct and accurate and true. Every single syllable. He didn't do anything wrong. And more than this being a case, an attack, a political weaponization, they actually did commit election interference because, like you, myself included, and a lot of people who love America, every time we try to advocate that what Trump is doing is actually great for our country, what do they keep bringing up? How can you support a felon? How can you support a criminal? How can you support an rapist? How can you support? It's just, they just vomit up CNN talking points. This contributed to that narrative. This absolute corrupt, illegal, lie, fraudulent case contributed to the political narrative that has polluted half of our citizens of this great nation. Shame on you. Shame on you. I mean, 1,000 suns of shame should shower upon your brow. This is treason, y'all. Acts of sedition. No, there's no, I mean, it's impossible to overstate what these guys did. It's impossible to overstate. I'm getting emotional again. Okay. They made me bond, continuing now Trump's message. They made me bond the outrageous sum, which never happened before and which cost me millions of dollars a month. It should have never been allowed to happen, and everyone knew it. Importantly, the vote was 5-0. 5-0, everybody. I'm so honored by Justice David Friedman's great words of wisdom, which should be read by everyone. I would also like to thank the court for having the courage to make this decision, which is already going down as one of the worst business persecutions in the history of our country. Sadly, there are other cases against me that are equally disgraceful, including those headed up by corrupt judges like Juan Merchan, fake Don Juan, whose daughter collected millions of dollars in fees from crooked Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, while her father shockingly refused to recuse himself from a vicious and corrupt trial, which is also under appeal, one in which every legal pundit in New York said there was no case. There's no case in Cash Money G. There's no case with Judge Gargamel. There's no case with fake Don Juan Merchan. There's no case with Letitia Big Shame James, Alvin Bragg. They're all utter shams that are brought by DEI hires who have turned this into the most emotionally charged shortcut to thinking and critical thinking, lacking any critical thinking. They've made this all about, let's get rid of the rich white guy. And by the way, as somebody who worked in the public sector as a professor for decades, I can tell you this. I was just talking to a great friend of mine the other day when I was walking my beautiful dog, Blue. I was just telling him that, every single day that I worked at the university, and I worked at multiple universities, every single day, going back as far as 2012, 2010. I'm telling you, this goes back 20 years. Every single day, an admin, a department head, chair, dean, admin, human resources. Don't forget your diversity training. Hey, we're having a diversity retreat. Hey, DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. Don't forget inclusion day. Don't forget diversity every single day. It is, I've said it once, I'll say it again, the worst contagion to ever afflict our society. It is literal racism masquerading. I'll use Newsom's term. It's what it is. What I'll do his hand movements too. I can't do his hand movements. God, he's such scum. How can anybody take that haircut that passes for a man seriously? It's literally racism disguised and masquerading as inclusion and diversity. It's anything but. What it's essentially saying is if you are white, if you are a male, more specifically, which it's so crazy to me because most 90% of Americans, 90% of even conservatives, if you want to say, obviously there's racism out there, but I would say, I'm being polite, I would say it's like 99%, but let's just say 90%. Don't even think of race when it comes to anything. As a business owner, somebody who's been running business for over 30 years, I can tell you I've never made one decision. And I think a lot of people are like me. Let me know in the comments. I've never made one decision when I hired somebody. Hey, you know what? You look like this, or you have this ethnicity, or you have this race. Nope, not going to do it. I only had one criteria. Are you qualified? Can you solve the problem? And are you skilled? Literally, those are the only criteria when I hired any. I didn't care if you were a transgender. I really didn't care. I didn't care if you were gay. I didn't care if you were white, black, orange, purple, yellow, blue. It didn't make a difference to me. I have a problem. I have a headache. Can you be my Excedrin? Period. But what have they done for the last 20? And even it goes back, it all started with the divider in chief. It all started with the traitor in chief, Obama. What did they do? They injected this parasitic contagion. It's literally all based on racism. And it spurred the Black Lives Matter movement, which is a terrorist organization. Many sheriffs, even black sheriffs, have conceded it's a terrorist organization. And it's injected its venom into every artery of our society. That's what this was all based on. That's what all these DEI hires are basing everything on. They're trained at the University of Division, headed by the Chancellor, Barack Obama. Period. I mean, that's a fact. That is just literally a fact. You won't hear that on CNN, I'll tell you that. There was no case. Even editorial board said, do not do this. Judge Mershon gave me an unprecedented gag order, not letting me talk. I need a little bit of water. Excuse me. I'm getting heated up, y'all. Gave me an unprecedented gag order, not letting me talk about him or his daughter, or I remember that vividly, or the fact that the appellate judges thought he should not be doing the case, but he did it anyway. Many lawyers said that his daughter and him created the greatest conflict of interest they had ever seen. Judge Lewis Kaplan, the other remaining case, whose wife, family, and friends attended his 2 trials, is as mean and nasty as anyone I've ever met. That case, also on appeal, should also never have been brought, and he should be admonished for abuse and every other thing that can be thrown at a corrupt judge. He loved the publicity and would not let us present the irrefutable evidence that we wanted to present. This Clinton-appointed judge should not be allowed to get away with this scam. Wow. That's a really, really, really heated response right there. So again, if you happen to be just joining us right now, the New York Appeals Court has overturned the civil penalty in Trump's $500 million lawsuit, and all intents and purposes, you have legal experts, you have people who understand the law, care about ethos, care about credibility, care about objectivity. You have everyday Americans who could see right through it, like myself and you included, as well as our global citizens. We have great, unbelievable audience members of Nez Nation from New Zealand, South Africa, Australia, Canada, the UK, Europe, Spain, Alaska. I mean, Alaska's America. I just went to Alaska. Alaska's beautiful. All over the world. We love you guys, and you can see the truth. I want to give a huge, big shout out to Yvette for being a member for 9 months. Thank you, JB, for gifting all these great memberships. JB, you're the man. Jim Barron, thank you so much. Johanna, member for 14 months. Finally, great news out of New York. Glad the appellate judges still follow the law. It's great to see you. Ginny Boo, thank you so much for gifting 5 new memberships. By the way, there's perks. If you want to join, you can click the join button down below. There's also a link in the description. By becoming a member, which is essentially a sponsor of our channel, you get automatic registration into our live stream giveaways. I've given away thousands and thousands of dollars of cash, Amazon gift cards, merch, the whole thing. You also get access to our members-only Discord, like-minded people that you can talk to. I'm in there a lot. We converse, we hang out, we talk a lot. Hang out with us there. You also get boosted engagement on comments, first dibs when we have guests on to ask questions, and a whole lot more exclusive content. I mean, it pays to become a member of this channel. Thank you, Ginny Boo. Thank you, Jim Barron. You are the best member for 17 months. The OG. It's so awesome. Look at this. Laura Tilford as well. Love you guys. Emil, great to have you here, man. Welcome new members. I'll post the link to the Discord and the members only community tab, or just get in touch with Laura and Jim and they'll give you a link to get in. Thank you so much, Laura Tilford, for the gifted membership. Thank you, Jim Barron. You guys are the best. Robbie Reeder, great to see you. 199 super chat. Thank you so much. Welcome all new members. Yes. I want to give a big shout out to Paul Harrison 7351 for the $20 super chat. Professor Nez, happy birthday to your daughter. Can you imagine an America under Kamala Harris? You know, I said this so many times, Paul, if you're still here, I've been on, through what, 10, 20, I don't know how many elections, sometimes our side won, sometimes our side lost. Yeah, it wasn't no big deal. The next day you moved on. You weren't mad at your neighbors. You weren't pissed off at your friends who were liberal or whatever. You just moved on. But this was one of those that you couldn't have moved on from. I mean, this truly was the most consequential election since 1861. I mean, really, really consequential. I think the whole republic stood in the balance. So, Paul, thank God for Trump is right. Well said. And thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you, Greater Faith Kingdom ambassadors. Blessings, Naz, just saying hello. It's been a while. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. Appreciate your support. Thank you. It's great to see you always. Thank you to Tokakil08901 for the $2 super chat. You are amazing. Thank you guys so much. Again, if you want the free research notes, you can find those in the pinned comments. If you love America, please tap that thumbs up. It doesn't cost you a thing, but it helps us out immeasurably. We have to educate our fellow citizens. They're being polluted by woke corporate media. We have to educate them. That's what our mission is. Make common sense go viral. This is our mission. Our mission is to make common sense go viral. By the way, we've got a whole slew of new merchandise in our gift shop. The link is in the pinned comment and in the description down below. Also, sign up for our free newsletter. That's also in the pinned comment and in the description down below. And as always, may God bless you, and may God bless the USA and all who defend her. Oh, wait a minute. Let me see. I want to check Rumble real fast if we got any super chats there, because I always forget about Rumble. By the way, follow us on Rumble, because we are on Rumble a lot. Thank you, Ronnie, for holding down the fort. If I missed anybody, I apologize. God bless you, everyone. God bless the USA and all who defend her. I'll see you guys very soon.